All right, so I see some of you guys joining the stream. You're welcome back once again to our live session today. So if today is your first time on this channel, do well to like the video, subscribe to the channel so that you're part of this great family that we are building online. So thank you once again for joining us today. Today's what episode. So today we want to look at a practice question to explain the basic understanding in in commission, right? Commission. So that's what we want to take on to that. Please do also share the video so that others will join us in that place. Please do also share the video so that others will join us in that case. So let's begin with the question. As you can see on the screen, to encourage hard work and efficiency, ShopRite decided to pay its staff and supervisors basic salary plus commission plus bonus and override as shown below. It also makes some funds available for staff to draw from in case they were financially what distressed. So we are asked to use this information to answer from question 1 to 10. So we have this information also given. We have the basic salary, we have supervisors, we have basic salary for staff, we have personal quota, that is what 20,000 for all staff, 20,000. Then you also have what personal commission rate, that is 6.15% for all sales up to 50,000. We also have what bonus for supervisors, bonus for staff. We have store quota, and we have what override what rate. As and when we move on, these kind of terms will be explained as we move along. So the first question is, what is the personal commission of a staff of a ShopRite who made a sale of what 72? This ShopRite who made a sale of what, or this personal staff who made a sale of what 72,000. Realize that for a commission to be calculated for all staff, it is at the rate of what 6.15%. Okay, for all sales, that is above what 20,000. Also, that's above 20,000. Let's take note of this. And for sales that's above 20,000, up to sales that is what 50 what thousand. So that is the range at which a staff or a supervisor can earn what a commission for a personal what commission. So meaning that for you to qualify for a 6.15% full commission, you should have a sales that exceed what this quota. And we call this 20,000 as what the minimum quota. Okay, and we call this 50,000 as what the maximum what quota. So actually, when it comes to personal commission, you may have two quotas. You may have the minimum quota and then the maximum quota. The minimum quota is the one that when you exceed any other extra sales, you get what your commission, right? But where your employer actually restricts you as to how you get your commission, you'll be given what two sales value, and the lowest one or the lowest value is the minimum quota, and then the highest value is the maximum quota. So to earn a 6.15% commission, you should be able to have a sales that exceeds what 50,000. You must have a sales that exceed what 50,000, so that at the end of the day you can get a full commission on that. So you realize that to get a commission for this particular case, we will say that commission amount should be equal to the difference between the maximum quota compared with what the minimum what quota. Compare with the minimum quota. So what are we getting? We have a maximum quota of 50,000 and we have a minimum quota of what 20,000. At the end of the day, you're going to get a commission amount of what 30,000. Commission amount of what 30,000. So once this commission amount is obtained, that is actually the commission amount upon which you are going to apply the rate of what 6.15% to get a full commission. This happens where the sale of a staff or a supervisor exceeds what the maximum quota of 50,000. So let's see from the first question. What is the personal commission of a staff of a ShopRite who made a sale of what 72,000? So in this case, this staff actually have a sale of what 70,000 that exceeds that of what the maximum quota of what 50,000. So meaning that this staff will earn a full commission amount on what? The 30,000. So to determine what the commission for this staff, commission is going to give us, that is the difference between, because we were restricted, or the staff here was restricted, that for him to earn a commission, he or she must exceed a minimum quota of 20,000 up to 50,000. So any other extra sales that comes after the maximum quota, you don't earn any commission on that. It's going to be for other incentives to be added to that particular staff. So here the commission is going to give us what? So it's going to be the comparison of what? The maximum quota compared with what? The minimum quota, okay? And then multiply by the rate of what? Commission. And then multiply by the rate of commission. I hope you are following that. So in that case, we will say that the maximum quota was what? 50,000. The reason why we are using this is that the sale of what this staff was actually 72. That exceeds that of what? The maximum quota. So you earn a full commission on what? The difference between the minimum quota and the maximum quota, right? So minus what? 20,000. Then multiply by what? 6.15%. Right? So at this point, when you calculate 6.15 on the difference, which is 30,000, you should be able to get a commission on what? 1,845 Ghana cedis. 1,845 Ghana cedis. And that's going for option what? A. That's going for option A. So let's take note of it. So where we have two quotas given, for a staff to earn a full commission, then we expect that the sale of that staff will exceed the maximum quota in that particular case, in that particular case, must exceed the maximum sales quota in that particular case. But in a situation where the sale of what the staff is less than that of what the maximum quota, then for us to calculate the commission of this staff, is going to be the comparison of the minimum quota as against the sales of that particular staff. I hope you have gotten the difference. So that is what we need to understand in that line. So let's take note of that. Let's move on to question number 2. How much sales will a staff have to make to earn a commission of what? 1,500. You realize that to earn a full commission within the range of 20,000 and 50,000, we are going to get this, right? Which is what? 1,845. But here lies the case that this staff is actually earning what? 1,500. This should tell you that the sale of this staff actually was less than what? The maximum quota of what? 50,000. Because if actually his or her sales exceeded that of what? The maximum quota of 50,000, then all things being equal, we expect that you have gotten a commission of what? 1,845. Whether you get 100,000 sales, get 200,000 sales, 90,000 sales, since you are restricted that for you to earn a commission of 6.5%, it's going to the range of what? The minimum quota of 20,000 up to what? 50,000. It's that range that you can earn a commission. So it doesn't matter the number of sales that you made that exceeds the maximum quota. You actually get what? A commission within what? That range. But where your sales is less than that of the maximum quota, then for you to get your commission, you're going to compare the minimum sales against, or the minimum quota against that of what? Your level of sales. So since we have 1,500 here, should inform us that the sale of this staff actually is less than that of what? The maximum what? Quota. I believe that is clear. So in that line, we will say that commission for this staff is going to give us, is going to be the comparison of the sales, right? Minus what? The minimum quota, right? And then multiply by the rate of what? Commission. The rate of commission. Okay. So we know the commission here was what? 1,500. And we don't know the sale of this stuff, so that is all we want to find. So let's use X to represent that. But we know the minimum quota to be equal to what? 20,000. Okay. And then multiply by the rate of what? 6.15%. So what is happening here? We want to solve for X. So here we divide both sides by what? 6.15%. We divide both sides by 6.15%. And what is happening here? It will cancel out, right? So we'll be left with, so when you divide 1,500 by 6.15%, you should be able to get a figure, a round figure that is should be equal to, in terms of two decimal places, should be equal to 24,390 point what? 24.24. That's why you should be able to get on this side. And that should be equal to sales minus what? The minimum quota. So now I want to solve for what? X. So the 20,000, which is negative, will join what? The 24,390, right? So that becomes positive since it's negative here. So I can bring it here by saying that therefore our X is going to give us 24,390.24 plus that of 20,000. Okay. And that should be equal to our X. So when you add the two, you should be able to get 44,390 point what? 24 Ghana cedis. So this actually the sale of this staff who earned or made a commission of what? 1,500. So here, since we can see that as part of our possible option, you have the option to create another option, say E, if it is part of the possible option to actually shade on your answer booklet or any shaded portion, you actually shade E and then you write your answer there since you believe that your answer is right. So that should be 44,390. So at any point where your answer is not in, this is what you must do. Create your possible option, put it there, and then go and shade that what option. I mean, you're good to go in that line. So let's take note of that. Now, question number 3. If a staff is paid 4,750.50 as his total earning in a given month, what was his or her minimum was sales? So by minimum sales, it is a sales in this particular case. Minimum sales has to do with sales that exceeds the maximum quota. The minimum sales should be the level of sales that should exceed what? The maximum quota. We look at this staff, was earning total earning for this staff actually is what? 4,700 and what? 52 point what? 50. This is what is happening here. So you realize that this is a staff. This is a staff. So for a staff, the staff will get what? A basic salary of what? 1,200, right? And then all things being equal, since you're asking of that of the minimum quota, we should exceed that of what the maximum what. Yeah, since the question is asking of the minimum sales, sorry, we should exceed the maximum quota. Then all things being equal, you will expect or will know that this staff actually will earn what? A full commission of what? 1,845, 1,845, 1,845. So let's do this simple arithmetic operation here. So this is what we're going to do, okay? We'll take the total and then we'll subtract the basic salary for a staff, which is what? 1,100. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to subtract that. Then we also add that of the personal commission. We are assuming that this staff earns all the incentives in this particular case, the basic salary, the commission, the bonus, and other issue that was presented in this particular case. So we have 1,200 for the staff, right? That is the basic salary. And the commission, we are assuming that it actually exceed the maximum quota. You earn a commission of what? 1,845, right? Then also we also assume that you also what get a bonus for a staff. You must exceed what? 65,000 to get a bonus. So the bonus figure for the staff is what? 1,000, right? So you have the 1,000 here. You appreciate what I'm doing when we are done. So what is happening here? Even if when I should subtract 1,200 plus 1,845 plus 1,000 from the whole of what? 4,750. With the help of your calculator, you're going to get something like 707.50. You can try to calculate that. Somebody can confirm and let's see if that is true. So if that is the case, then that means that if that is the case, then that means that this staff actually had a sales value that is what actually what greater than that of what the maximum what quota. And as such, he will earn all the incentives that was presented what above. So this was the remaining what figure telling us that probably it might be for other incentives for which the information given didn't actually capture. So we don't take that. But all I want to actually have a kind of attention on is to understand the minimum what sales. So the minimum sales is going to be the sales that should be greater than what? The 50,000. It should be equal to, let me put it in this way, it should be equal to or greater than what? The 50,000. So in this particular case, we will say that this staff will have a minimum sale of what? 50,000. That should be the minimum sale for this staff. Meaning that he had a sale that is, so the condition here is that it should be greater than or equal to what? 50,000. That should be the minimum level of sales that they have. Since when we even deduct all the other uh, incentives that was given in this particular case, we were still having a balance of 707.50. Then it means that this staff will actually get a minimum sale of 50,000, right? So that is how this is actually done. That's how this actually was done. So let's take note of that. Let's move on to question number 4. If you have any question, you can drop in the comment section whilst I explain things to you in that line. If you just join us, please do all to like the video and share so that we get more engaged as we move along. Question number 4. If a staff make a sale of for 20,500 and has a draw for 1,200, what will be his or her net earning? So to calculate net earning of a staff, net earning should be equal to the total earning, right? Minus all deduction. Minus all what? Deduction. Deduction. Minus all deduction, right? So that is the net earning. So let's see. The sale of this staff was for 20,500, okay? And the draw was for 1,002. So let's calculate the commission for this staff actually. So to get a commission for this staff, commission is going to give us, since the sale of this staff is what? 20,500. This is less than that of what? The maximum sale of what? 50,000, or the maximum quota of 50,000. As such, for us to calculate the commission of this staff, we are going to compare that of his sales against what? The minimum quota. While the sales of the staff is less than that of what? The maximum what? Quota, we compare the sale of that staff to that of the minimum quota, right? So let's take note of that. So to get a commission in this case, going to be the sale of this staff minus what? The minimum quota, okay, and then multiply by the rate of commission. So in this case, we're going to say that the sale of this staff was what? 20,500, okay, minus the minimum quota of what? 20,000 that was given in the question. You can remember, yeah, 20,000, okay. So once you get that, you then multiply by the rate of commission, is what? 6.15%. When you perform this on your calculator or any device, any calculatable device, you should be able to get a figure of, I think I had, let's see, that's question 4. I had a figure of 1,200. I had a figure of 1,200. Oh, sorry, say 1,200. That is for the staff. I had a figure of what? 30.75. Somebody can confirm for me and let's see if that is true. So if that is the commission of this staff, then the total earning is going to be the net earning is going to be the total earning minus all what? Deduction, right? So in this particular case, we will say that the net earning is going to be the total earning, which is going to be what? That of what? A salary. Because he was entitled to a fixed salary of what? For a staff, 1,200. So after that, you add that of what? His commission, which was what? 30 point what? 30.75. Okay. And then you subtract all deduction. For example, the draws that was given, which is what? 1,200. So I don't know what is happening here. 1,200 comes 1,200. So we are left with what? The net earning of what? 30.75. 30.75. So this becomes the net earning of what? This staff, and that should go for option what? A. That should go for option A. If you have any question, you can ask or put in the comment section whilst I take it from there. What is the store commission amount if a store sales for the period is 92,800 with a store return of what? 13,500? Okay, so when it comes to store 2, there is also another type of commission called an override commission. This form of commission is actually given to a supervisor, head of department, or individuals who hold what? Key positions within the organization. Under these people, or is under we used to pay to these individuals who hold what higher position or supervisors or heads of department within that organization. So for them, they are paid what their commission as an added value to their service that they provide called the override word commission. We add that one to them based on the store word sales. So it works the same way as the personal commission that we know. So if you ask to calculate what the store commission amount, it's the same thing as calculating what taking if it was with personal sales, you take your that of the sales, you compare with the quota, and then you get your what commission amount. That's what we're going to do here actually. So, but before we can do that, if there is any returns, you must subtract the returns from the initial sales so that we get to know the net sales that was actually achieved. So here the store sales was for 92,000, right? So and we're also having a returns of what 13,500. So for us to get that of our store commission amount, the store commission amount is going to be store commission amount is going to be the sales, right? Minus the returns, okay, minus the returns plus or the quota. All I'm putting this simple formula. Before we can get the store commission amount, it should be the net sales minus what the quota. So let's get the net sales, the net store sales, which should be equal to what the sales minus what the returns. So what are we getting for sales was 92,800 minus the return of what 13,500. So what is happening here? When you take the difference between the two, you should be able to arrive at what 79,300. Now this is what is happening. When it comes to commission amount, we expect that commission amount should be what a positive what value. It should be a positive value. It shouldn't get a negative value. So let's see. So this is actually the net sales. So we're going to compare this net sales against the store quota. This is what we call the store quota, not the personal quota. Store quota. So in a question, we're giving the store quota as what 85,000. So the store quota is 85,000, and then the net sales is what? And net sales is what? 79,300. Is it possible to subtract 85,000 from 85,000, sorry, from 79,300? No. So meaning that this is going to result to a negative, but we must keep at the back of your mind that always our commission amount, whether store or personal commission, should be what a positive value. And since we are getting a negative value, since the net sales at this point is less than that of the store quota, then commission is deemed to what? Zero. Commission is deemed to what? Zero. Because you can't get a negative what? Commission amount. So therefore, we will say that the store commission amount is what? Zero. So that will go for what? B. That will go for B. So let's take note of that. Let's take note of that.